Listen, you said we can make a board game. Do an interpretive dance. Rap.
Well, we did none of those.
The content you're about to see is crude and uncut.
The world has never seen the likes of this footage before.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Spend all your time waiting.
The way that glaciers are formed is when masses of snow have been going through a melting point, which then the water starts recrystallizing itself, forming into glaciers.
There's always some reason.
Now, in the past century, the temperature has been rapidly increasing, mainly in the central Alaskan area, which the temperature has gone up to close to 3 degrees Celsius. Due to this, a lot of the glaciers are unable to go through the recrystallization process, which then causes the glaciers to fall apart and melt away. A lot of the animals that live there are losing their habitats. Now, because of this, the sea level has been rising to 1 to 2 millimeters per year. Eventually, the Earth's surface will be covered in water. Scientists believe that in the year 2023, there will be no more cryosphere and no more glaciers.
Arms of the angel, fly away from this dark
Whenever you're good.
Recently, in the Antarctic, the ice composition has been shifting while the global temperature has been steadily increasing. The temperature increase is mainly due to warmer waters and a combination of upwelling and ocean freshening. The amount of land ice in the Antarctic has been shrinking each year, while the amount of sea ice has been increasing. This may sound good to the uninformed, but it's actually quite problematic. Sea ice melts and forms seasonally, while land ice doesn't. This means that an increase in sea ice will lead to higher sea levels once they melt. To make matters worse, since the climate in the Antarctic is so harsh and the systems driving the changes in the ice are so complex, we don't really know what may happen in the future. If the amount of sea ice continues to grow, our coastal states may soon be in danger. While our scientists are out trying to gather important data in the Antarctic, we can help out as well at home. We can try to reduce our carbon emissions in hopes to slow down the positive feedback loops that drive the sea levels up. And although we may be uncertain how exactly one thing leads to another, it is certain that high carbon emissions are causing more bad than good.
I dag skal vi tale om oceanforfriskning. Det er meget spændende. Man kan aldrig helt vide, hvordan det kommer til at gå, men
ocean freshening is the process of desalination in the oceans. This is caused by the global climate change in terms of a greater amount of greenhouse gases in the Earth's atmosphere. It is also caused by higher temperatures. Different factors are causing ocean freshening, such as increased melting of the cryosphere, a greater continental runoff, and an increase in precipitation of the poles, and alteration of ocean currents. Ocean freshening has consequences for the ecosystem and organisms inhabiting the sea. A greater input of fresh water into the oceans will cause the average salinity of the oceans 2 degrees. It has been suggested that an average of 8,400 kilometers cubed of excess fresh water has been discarded to the Arctic Ocean annually. The consequences of this is a thicker freshwater surface layer, which means that the halocline is descending. When the freshwater layer gets thicker, the nutrients in the salty bottom water will be further away and harder to access. For organisms such as phytoplankton, this could mean that the halocline will be below the compensation depth, and therefore the phytoplankton can't get sufficient nutrients to maintain their biomass. For the ecosystem of nutrient depletion in the Baltic zone will change the composition of the plankton community and favor smaller cells with a greater surface to volume ratio. The problem with that is that these plankton have lower food quality for the rest of the marine food web.
gør noget som helst.
Permafrost is found in the northern hemisphere, Arctic, and subarctic zones. It entitles soil that has been frozen below 0 degrees Celsius for 2 to 3 years. The dangers that lie within permafrost aren't very apparent. However, it is estimated that 850 billion tons of carbon is solely stored in permafrost. Western Siberia has actually already shown signs of carbon release in this form, and there is also methane stored in the soil, and methane actually heats the atmosphere around 5 times more than carbon. In the mid-21st century, the area of permafrost in the northern hemisphere is supposed to decline by 20 to 35%. Thawing permafrost tends to create a positive feedback loop, thus thawing more permafrost over and over. We currently don't have any scientific methods of stopping this thawing, and it can become dangerous at an increasing rate. Some ecosystems have actually been seeing a shift in their habitats themselves. Subarctic zones have been seen to shift into bogs, or I guess rare cases would be swamps, and roads in Canada have been collapsed due to the thawing.
Basically, the global climate issue with it is that as it continues to thaw, it actually starts releasing carbon due to a process in which some microbes eat away at organisms and or at organic matter, and they start to release carbon as well as methane.
As fresh snow falls onto the frozen ground, it actually insulates the permafrost and keeps it warm instead of letting it refreeze, and so it stays thawed out, and it allows the microbes to actually release the carbon even more than it would typically in a year. And so if you want to learn more about this issue, you can actually go to a website that's really helpful called Wonderground, and also NASA has done quite a few studies on this issue as well.